There are times when anime leaves you speechless. A moment where, after watching an episode, leaves you there, wondering what you just might have watched. No doubt that this happens when watching any type of show, not just anime. It might be the art that blows you away, the character development that occurs between a group of characters, a hype scene that you want others to see and would die to see the fight again. It might even just be a small aspect of a character, like how they might act. This was the type of reaction that I had for Spring 2023's Oshinoko. It's no surprising that Oshinoko was one of the best seasons from Spring 2023, and while there are so many videos talking about how Oshinoko is one of the greatest anime to come out in recent memory, not a lot of people are talking about the underlying messages that Oshinoko and the author Aka Akasaka has for this piece of anime. So I wanted to make my own video about Oshinoko's messages and how it definitely has risen to the point of anime of the year. Oshinoko is about a doctor who is obsessed over an idol by the name of Ai Hoshino. The reason why he is obsessed with the idol is because one of his past patients loved to watch Ai and was permanently bedridden due to her conditions with her illness. After she passed away, the doctor began to love the idol as much as she did to carry on her love for Ai. One day, he gets a new patient who turned out to be Ai Hoshino herself, who is pregnant with a pair of twins. Bewildered, he begins to take care of Ai Hoshino and learns more about her true self. She is eager to love her new children, but is also worried that she won't be able to truly love them as well. We'll go into that later, but eventually, Ai Hoshino is about to give birth. Before she is able to, the doctor finds that there is a fan who followed to where Ai was and eventually dies because he was careless in the dark. Even though he passes away as a doctor, there is the superstition that those who find the idol appealing will be born to be reborn as their kids, which causes him to actually be reincarnated as Ai's son, and he now goes by the name of Aqua. He and his newborn sister, Ruby, now live their lives as the new idol's children. Seems like a very simple story, but the character depth between all the characters has been amazing. Let's start with the biggest importance, Ai Hoshino. Her name is literally Love Hoshino, but it turns out that she wanted to be able to love something or someone in her life. Her parents didn't really support her. However, she learns that by being able to lie, she would be able to protect herself and hopefully find something to love. It's a struggling teenager's life trying to find a way to be able to love herself and the expectations that the people will have of her. This is the one aspect of her that she wants to keep building, to improve, and to eventually meet her own goals. It doesn't matter if anything happens until you reach that one goal. It is probably one of the best coming of age stories for a character and arguably one of the best character developments of the year aside from Akane, who I will also get to later. Both Ruby and Aqua are interesting characters. They each have aspects that they gain from Ai, Ruby being the idol-like state while Aqua's acting skills are on par, if not better than Ai's acting. They both value their mother and of course try to aspire to be like their mother. As of right now, Ruby hasn't done too much in the anime aside from establishing her own group. Aqua has had huge development. At one point in time, he actually believes he doesn't want to act for reasons I cannot say, but one of the main reasons was because he believed he wasn't good enough anymore either. Because he had nothing to strive for by being an actor, there wasn't a point for him to do acting. However, the director, who had been helping him act and edit in the film industry, knows that he wants to continue acting because it's fun. Even if there are many struggles, if the fun is worth it, then everything is also worth the time and effort. This is just one of the many messages that the director tells Aqua, who only believes he has one sole reason to act, and it's not about having fun. The hour and a half long episode was essential to the start of the plot. It's literally a movie as the first episode. What more could you have while watching this show? The mystery, the suspension, the idle moments, everything is a work of art. Dogokobo has been known majorly for their anime of girls doing cute things, or a lot of cutesy romantic shows. If you even look at Mal or other sites, not a single anime that they have created is even 8-star rating or higher. They are one of the best studios in doing this type of genre, but the quality of the show has raised a new bar. The opening, the ending, the way the seriousness occurs, the way the hair flows. Everything is pleasing to the eye, and no anime that they have created in the past can even compare to what they did for Oshinoko. The eyes have so much life in them, and is generally one of the best animated shows as well this year. The original soundtrack isn't exactly distinct and new, but it really sets up for the tone for the entire episode. Whether it's a serious scene, a dancing scene, a happy scene, everything feels alive, especially when the ending song plays in certain episodes. It really gives you chills, creeps, or even just an addition of suspense to what might happen later in the show. It also gives particular aspects that you find when entering media in the first place. For example, how to gain YouTubers and how to start up a channel in the first place. The steps into getting a better YouTube channel are all still very relative in today's age, like sponsorships. It is also one of the funniest or weirdest episodes that we have seen to date. But even if you do things like dances, getting that bank is what matters a lot, and having an appeal to the audience is also another way to get more subscribers. Even an economic standpoint, this show brings up relative points in our day-to-day life. It gives a sense as to what the entertainment industry does, and is definitely one of the most relatable things of the anime. Up to now, I've given a generalization of what has happened in Oshinoko, but it is really difficult to be able to not talk about Oshinoko without spoilers. So I am now going to put up a spoiler warning sign, and please click off the video if you haven't watched Oshinoko. It is something special that you, in your own right, should watch for yourself without spoilers. I will only cover up to episode 7, and after this point in the video, I'll assume you have reached that point or have finished the entire series. I want to first argue that for the first time in a very long time, this show has never felt so real, but also feels like a piece of fiction at the same time. A lot of the feelings that come up while watching this show are the same as what anyone can feel, especially in today's modern age. I'm talking about toxicity and mental health. Toxicity has always been a problem ever since the start of the online era, whether it's the first-person games, tier lists, or just random beef between people or players. Toxicity keeps continuing and will continue to worsen over time. And what happens when toxicity is too much for a person? Your mental health is also affected. Oshinoko depicts this perfectly with one of the other best developed characters of the year, Akane. Episode 1 is easily the episode that causes people to be captivated by the show, but I would argue that the combined episodes of episode 6 and 7 is equal, if not better, than episode 1. Akane's situation of accidentally cutting another actor's face is a prime example of cancer culture in recent times. Even though the other actor doesn't mind, since Akane was in a situation where she had to act, the people in the studio leaked the footage, which causes the entire internet to blame her for her actions. Because she apologizes for her actions, she gets hated on, even more, which causes her to no longer want to be in the show anymore. She continues to get hated, the hate spirals, and then eventually leads to her wanting to commit suicide. She wants to be able to protect her mother by not bringing the hate onto her. Her effort into making a good show became nothing, and having death threats on top of the hate that she already had was maybe the most realistic thought I could have had. When you go onto YouTube, especially someone like me who just started their channel, there's always going to be hate. Am I truly prepared to rebound from countless hate? Am I willing to make other sacrifices while making videos? What was the point into joining acting? Akane eventually finds the answer to all of these things, which revolves around Hoshino's lies. Lies are a way to protect oneself from true hate, a shield from what a person may be, so that people don't ever truly harm a person. Akane is able to rebound and find a purpose to live for her fans, to become the true actor that she already was. Akane's portrayal of hate and suicidal thoughts are things that anime don't talk about much. Mental health has become more of a problem as well for people, and is so prominent in the modern age that I'm happy that the anime addressed it. It's a topic that a lot of Japanese people don't really talk about, more or less the world as well. It's a real issue, and even issuing a message at episode 6 of how people should be more aware of mental health took special attention from me. This also reminds me of one of the most prominent figures in anime, Jin Maeda. Maeda is one of the goats of the anime industry, being the creator of Angel Beats, Charlotte, and other shows. Angel Beats and Clannad were probably the two shows that he best worked on. Angel Beats being the better, as he was the one to write the full story of Angel Beats, while Clannad he only got some credit on. However, after the story of Angel Beats, he began to get a lot of hate for a lot of his newer works, such as Charlotte began the same amount of hate as in the situation with Akane. This would keep going, and then in 2019, The Day I Became a God was released. This was one of the shows that I thought was solid in its own right, but the internet had the opposite effect. They despised the story, and the death threats were at an all-time high. Since this point, he hasn't made a single new show or even taken part in any directorship since the release of That Day I Became a God. It's okay to not like a show, but the amount of hate that Maeda got to the point of death threats again raises the question. What is the point of making content if no one appreciates his work? I'm also looking at your Twitter, mal discussions, and anime discussions in general. It's okay to dislike an anime, but devaluing a person for their own work is maybe one of the worst ways to target someone and can lead to the same thing. Maeda at least has the mind of a goat, and hopefully he has been doing well despite what has happened to his work.
Oshi no Ko is one of the most relatable anime this season, with one of the best art directions, soundtracks, and messages of both value and toxicity. Oshi no Ko is one of the deepest shows that anyone can watch. Despite me already reading the very first volume of Oshi no Ko before the show aired, the feelings remain the same, if not better than what I read in the manga. Whether it's the happiness, the anger, the amount of attention that someone may have, the lies that the anime creates, or the truths to be told. A way to protect yourself, and a way to also fully express anything without having to worry about anything. The opening and ending songs are expressions of the characters themselves. The overall story of mystery and satisfaction, it has been the craziest ride that I have seen in a very long time. It's been one of a heck of a ride, and I cannot wait to see the second season of Oshi no Ko once it comes back.